On today's rebuild, we are heading over to Serie A and we're going to be rebuilding the old lady of football, Juventus. Juventus currently find themselves sat in third position. Their last league title coming back in the 2019 season. Our main objective for this rebuild is to go on and once again be champions of Italy. But that's not going to be no easy thing to do, especially with the likes of Inter, Napoli. So of course that means Spalletti out and FM Rage in. Breaking news coming out of Italy. Juventus set to appoint FM Rage. In our first season here at Juventus, we will be taking part in 3 competitions. The Serie A, the Coppa Italia and of course the Champions League. The fall from grace for Juventus has been tragic over recent years, but we are still predicted to finish 4th in the league. Our team has bags of quality. We have the super Serbian international Dusan Vlahovic, definitely going to get us some goals. We've got the pace, the quality, the talent of Luis Openda, the former Lille player in Jonathan David. The squad is in a decent place, but we know there is room for improvement. Looking rather shy at centre-back. We do have just over £23 million to spend. With that being said, we are setting up a brand new requirement for a young breakthrough prospect, someone we could develop into a world-class player. We are going to be setting up in a 3-4-3. I really want to see some magic from all of our wide players. That is our best 11 on the screen and I am rather impressed. We are about to kick off our first season in Serie A and we have one new player that has joined the ranks. And that player is Dylan Lawler, coming in from Cardiff. Did cost us £9.75 million. Young Welsh lad, bags of potential, hopefully has a really bright future here at Juventus. We're going to be starting our campaign against newly promoted Cremonese. Hopefully we can maybe just win this first game. With us approaching half time, the scores were locked at 0-0, but a little bit of magic down that right hand side and it was 1-0 to Juve. And a few moments into the second half, a little bit of quality up on the edge of the box, and before you know it, we were 2-0 up. And that was 3 points to start the season. But unfortunately for us, Jonathan David is now going to be out for around 2 months. But fear not, we may have David out, but we still have Francisco Conceição, who will step in onto that right hand side. We followed the season opener up with a win at home, thanks to a 95th minute winner from Conceição. A very bold and brave start to the season, but we know there's still a very long way to go. Also, our Champions League draw has been made and it has not been kind to us. We've got to take on the likes of Bayern Munich, Arsenal and the current holders, Paris Saint-Germain. I tell you something guys, that is not a favourable Champions League draw. There's some really tough teams in there, but I think we may still just about have the quality to be able to get through to the knockout stages. We started our Champions League journey and we started it with a bang. 4-1 win against Ajax at home. A couple more decent results in the league, drawing 1-1 away at Atalanta, but then winning the Turin derby by 2-0. So only 4 games in, we're sat top of the league and we are yet to be defeated. We are yet to be tested by a giant club, but today is the day. AC Milan coming to town. We was expecting a much tougher test today, but Yildiz fires us into a 1-0 lead early on. Just before half time, it was 2-0. With some really nice work down the wing, it was soon 3-0. With 15 minutes to play, it was then 4. Thuram doing some magical work down the right, it was soon 5-0. Surely things couldn't get any better for us, yet they did. And I said that was our first real test, but we are runaway winners 6-0. There's me thinking this is going to be a really difficult rebuild, which just seems to be kicking everybody's ass, which is nice. But there's a long way to go yet. It looks like the natural order is restoring itself now. We fell down to 4th, Inter Milan, of course, leading the way now in top spot. We lost away at Sassuolo, thanks to a goal from Pinamonti. We was then shafted at home, losing to Roma 2-1, even though they had 10 men. In the Champions League, we are doing rather well, thanks to a late strike from Thuram. We somehow beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. Drawn at home against a very good Newcastle United. We then travelled to the Emirates, where unfortunately we went 1-0 down early on. Unfortunately, it got worse. It was then 2-0. Approaching the hour mark, I was hoping we could get back into the game, but at 3-0, we had some massive problems. We battled on and we did manage to get a consolation goal at the end of the match. And after a very hard fought game, getting sunk by the Gunners. We are officially halfway through our games. We're sat in 10th and we are still in a very strong position for qualification to the next phase. Things would be slightly easier if we could avoid injuries to our number 1 goalkeeper. Our next match in the Champions League is Eintracht Frankfurt. We're 10th, they are 12th. This is a must-win game at home for us. With 30 minutes on the clock, we was pushing forward, we were trying our best, and eventually our efforts are rewarded. Just before half time, a brilliant corner into the box. Bremer's there, 2-0. We got the result we wanted, and we got the result we very much deserved. With 3 games to play, that victory definitely puts us in a very, very strong position. Following up on the victory against Frankfurt, we managed to put Lazio to the sword, 3-1 at home, but they were much the better team. We then took on Luis Enrique's PSG in the Champions League. They were just too good for us on the day. We go down 4-2. In the Serie A and the Champions League, I think so far so good. But we are now about to take on our toughest test in the league. It's Inter against Juve, second against third. We're probably going to get our pants well and truly pulled down today. We was defending valiantly, but as we approached the 83rd minute, it was Inter that struck themselves into the lead. With time ticking away, we never gave up, and it was McKennie with a rebound effort into the back of the net. Inter were dominant, but it does not matter one jot. We come away from Inter Milan with a point. If anybody said to me, you're going to play away at the San Siro, Inter Milan, the best team in Italy at this current moment in time, you'll take it, and we bet your bottom dollar we'll grab that point, we'll run away with it. It is the turn of the year, and the transfer window is now open in Serie A. One player to already leave early on is Filip Kostic, going over to Olympiacos. We didn't really get too much money for him, but he was out of contract shortly anyway. Some huge news, Dusan Vlahovic has committed to the club and he is here now till 2030. We have just under £17 million to spend. I'm fairly content with the squad. I don't think there's going to be too much business being done unless we do lose any big players over the next few weeks. So I did say this may well be a very quiet transfer window, but I was just casually, browsing through who might be coming out of contract at the end of the season. We put a cheeky offer in, and we are about to confirm the deal for Mark Gahey coming to Juventus on a free transfer, an England international. We have to confirm that deal. Welcome to Italy. I have no doubts, no reservations at all. Mark Gahey is going to be an absolute revelation here in Italy. Since that Inter Milan game, our form has pretty much carried on in an upward trajectory. Cagliari, Bologna, Udinese, Pisa, we have put everybody to the sword. We now even find ourselves in the Coppa Italia quarter-final, and we've got Monza at home. Surely we're going through to the semis. In the Champions League, there's 2 games left. We are not qualified yet, but we have Fenerbahce, Slovan Bratislava. Surely we are going through to the knockout stages. In this make or break Champions League game, it was Asensio firing Fenerbahce into a 1-0 lead. 64 minutes on the clock, some really nice work from Coop Miners, 1-1. We was approaching the last 10 minutes, Openda times his run to perfection, dinks the goalkeeper, 2-1. And that goal proved to be the crucial one, 2-1, 3 points in the bag. If we could potentially beat Bratislava, we could go straight through in the top 8. In the final game of the Champions League group stage, we put Bratislava to the sword, 3-0. Following that victory, we are through automatically to the round of 16. We are just past halfway in the season. We're currently sat in third, only 3 points behind top of the table. Champions League, last 16, straight through. We are 3 points behind top of the table. In the Coppa Italia, we are in the quarter-final. We are having an absolutely exceptional first season. We've just concluded the winter transfer window, and it is also time to take on Monza in the quarter-final of the Coppa Italia. The winter transfer window has just closed. We've moved on Matteo Perin, the Italian veteran in Daniela Rugani, and loaned out Fabio Moretti until the end of the season. He's heading over to La Liga. With Perin leaving, we needed a new backup goalkeeper. We welcome in Van der Voort, costing us just shy of £7 million. We most definitely needed some cover in midfield. We welcome in Milton Delgado, £7.5 million for the young Argentine. He looks like a solid, well-rounded player. With the transfer market now concluded, we turn our attention to the Coppa Italia. Can we beat Monza? We're at home. Can we book a place in the semi-final? It was McKennie giving us a 1-0 lead just after the hour mark. We then managed to put the game well and truly to bed. Jonathan David, 2-0, and we are through to the semi-final. Lady luck is definitely on our side. We've been drawn against either Atalanta or Lazio. Surely we are going through to the final. Transfer window complete. Some young quality coming in. Some dead wood leaving the football club. Happy days. In the first leg of the Coppa Italia, we struck late on in the game, giving us a 1-0 lead in the first leg. But our attention now shifts back to the Champions League. It's Juventus versus Atalanta. Can we book our place in the quarter-final? In the first leg, Atalanta struck with 2 goals, but we battled back late on to tie it up at 2-2. We did follow up that draw with an absolute demolishing of Como away. But in the Champions League, with the game locked all square at 2-2, the pressure was on us. We're at home. Can we get the job done? We did open the scoring in the first leg thanks to Conceição. Unfortunately for us, we were cut open and Lookman levelled the game up. We did manage to squeeze our noses back in front from the spot. Penalty put away. Just when we thought we was going to run away with the game, some laps defending at the back, and before you know it, it was put into the top corner, deadlocked again. The game went through to extra time, and it was yet another wonder goal. We needed a goal desperately to level it up, and Openda once again being the hero. With the game deadlocked after extra time, we went to penalties. Coop Miner, no mistake. Up stepped Lookman for Atalanta, but Di Gregorio with a huge save. The only question is now, can we press home the advantage? And indeed we do. Openda makes no mistake. With the pressure now on Atlanta, Samardzic needed to score, and he does just. Up stepped Jonathan David, tucked it away, goalkeeper goes the wrong way. Pasalic stepping up, had to score, and he does. Up steps Zegrova for Juve, and he puts it away, the goalkeeper guessed right. Martin does score. Fortunately for us, that one huge save in the penalty shootout by Di Gregorio was enough to get us through to the quarter-final. We have the magic touch at the moment, following that great Champions League win up with a 3-1 win away at Cagliari. Throughout the month of March, we have remained unbeaten, which does keep us second in the table, 2 points behind Roma, but they do have a game in hand. With 8 games to play, we're still in with a shot of winning the league. We're still in the Champions League. We're in the Coppa Italia. We really are having a very, very good first season. It looks like April is going to be the make or break month for us it's the Champions League doubleheader, Liverpool and Lazio in the Coppa Italia semi-final. We are still keeping the pressure up at the top of the table thanks to an early strike from Jonathan David to give us that 1-0 win over Bologna. But unfortunately for us, every time we win, so do Roma. And we've only 7 games left to play in the league. Can we edge our noses in front? But back to European matters now, and Liverpool, we head into Anfield. We could be eliminated pretty much after the first leg. We were brave, we battled, but unfortunately ITAKY did give Liverpool the lead, and that's how it finished, 1-0 to Liverpool, but we are still very much alive in this tie. The games don't get any easier for us. Liverpool away, and now it's Napoli away. For this game away at Napoli, we are almost at full strength. McKennie won't be available as he had suffered a fractured wrist. But some positive news, Yildiz has signed a brand new deal here at Juventus. A player of this ilk, this quality, we needed to keep our hands on him. 18 goals, 10 assists, what a player. In the league, Roma shockingly fell 2-1 away to Cagliari. We knew Roma had lost. Could we do our job? Conceição was there, 1-0 away at Napoli. There was no more goals in the game, and it was a very solid all-round performance. With 6 games left to play, we do hold a very slender 1-point advantage at the top of the table. Over the past few weeks, with results going our way, we have now once again qualified for next season's UEFA Champions League. And talk of the devil, it's time to take on Liverpool. Can we overturn that 1-goal deficit? Early in the second half, we thought we had took the lead. Unfortunately, it was offside. We were doing our very, very best. We kept knocking on the door, just couldn't find the back of the net, and time was ticking away. With a little under 20 minutes to go, Robertson with a shocking tackle. He saw red. 11 men against 10. We just couldn't find that cutting edge. The game ended 0-0, and it's Liverpool who will face Real Madrid in a Champions League semi-final. I think in the Champions League we've done fairly well to get as far as that. Very, very proud indeed. We've still got the league, we've still got the Coppa Italia to play for. After our Champions League exit, it went from bad to worse. 1-1 draw at home against Pisa, not ideal. With Roma winning, that means once again we fell back down to second. We have to put it behind us though. It's the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. Can we get the job done against Lazio? With us holding a 1-0 lead, Openda doubled the advantage. But Lazio soon found themselves straight back into the tie. We had our fair share of luck. Locatelli with a drive, it takes a deflection and goes into the back of the net. But from kickoff, we once again can't defend very well, and Lazio straight back into the tie. There was no more goals. It finished 2-2 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate, and it will be us in the final to face off against Bologna. The end of the season now is in sight. April was absolutely tragic for us. We had a chance to go top, and we passed it up again, losing 2-1 to Udinese. Thankfully, we did bounce back with a 1-0 win away at Verona, thanks to Jonathan David. Roma's form has been just as scattered as ours, thankfully held at home by AC Milan. But we do have to play them in the penultimate game of the season. This first season is crazy. Plenty of ups, plenty of downs, but we could still come away with a little bit of silverware. We're taking on Genoa today. Roma heading to Parma, who are bottom of the league. It was an Evan Ferguson masterclass. Roma won 3-1. Did we get our job done? Approaching half time, who was there? Conceição to give us the lead. The game was locked at 1-0. We needed another goal for a little bit of cover, and we did get it. Lloyd Kelly, 2-0. We got the result we wanted. We got the result we needed, but there's 2 games to play, and it is Roma up next for us in the league. But before that, we have a huge domestic cup final. It's cup final day and there is your team locked and ready to rock and roll in the final. Bologna will be setting up in a 4-2-3-1 and they've got some really talented players, the likes of Tommaso Pobega and of course Riccardo Orsolini. Here comes the two teams. It's a moment of passion and a real moment of pride. Can we get our first piece of silverware? Time was ticking away. We needed a hero. Up steps Dusan Vlahovic. And that was enough for us. Drink it in, people. Drink it in. One season and it is our very first trophy here at Juventus. Get in there. We have to move on swiftly from that cup victory. It's Juve against Roma and this is absolutely do or die in the league. With one piece of silverware already to our name, we head to Rome. Can we get the result we need to potentially win the league title? We knew a win today would secure the league title for us, but some absolutely pants defending and we are 1-0 down. We needed to get back in this game. Roma were coming on strong and unfortunately they bagged their second of the game. We couldn't find a way back in. We lose 2-0. Roma go back to the summit. 2 points clear with one game to play. The final game of the season was now upon us. We had Fiorentina. Roma travelled to Sassuolo. If we win and they fail to do so, we could still be crowned champions. Out of all the teams I thought would be battling against for the league title, I didn't think it would be AS Roma. 35 minutes on the clock. Roma unfortunately into a 2-0 lead. After what could only be described as a very boring first half, it was time to go on to the front foot. We desperately needed a goal to put some pressure onto Roma. Yildiz finds Conceição and somehow Gatti scrambles it home. Unfortunately for us though, the goal was ruled out. We had a chance then out from the left hand side and we do get the ball turned home thanks to an own goal. With just over 15 minutes to go, we needed Sassuolo to get back into the game. We kept throwing men forward and Vlahovic was there to make it 2-0. Sassuolo have got a goal back. It's now 2-1 with just under 10 to play. Can we dream of a Sassuolo equaliser late on? The pressure is well and truly now on Roma. 3 minutes to play. And it's official, AS Roma are the champions of Italy. And it doesn't get much better. We've only been given £24.38 million to spend in the transfer window. Heartbreak on the last day of the season. We didn't quite get the job done, but we go again and we're not going to end this side until we are crowned champions of Italy once again. As we head into the summer transfer window, we know there is work to do. We need a goalkeeper. We need more quality in centre half, but we have that position covered as we know who's joining us. It's Marc Guéhi. There has been some fantastic performances across the course of the season, and with them great performances, it means that a lot of players now are wanted. Bremer is wanted by Atletico Madrid and Al Ahly. Conceição now wanted by Real Madrid. Locatelli being hunted down once again by Real Madrid. And our superstar centre-half, Federico Gatti, being chased by the Gunners. With our measly transfer budget, I think it's going to be the case of sell to buy. But we've got some huge names being chased by some of the biggest clubs in world football. I'm going to go hunting for some serious quality for this Juventus team. Can we go one step further next year? Can we deliver the Serie A title? We sold Bremer to Manchester City. It was through no choice of our own. They come in with a £52 million offer and the board gratefully accepted it. We've moved on Nicolas Gonzalez going over to PSG for £31.5 million. A few more squad players have left, the likes of Moretti, Timothy Weah and the Polish veteran in Arkadiusz Milik. With Bremer parting ways, we knew we had Marc Guéhi coming in and he's going to slot into our team absolutely beautifully. This guy is very much hit and miss. It's Jadon Sancho, but for a free transfer, 95 grand a week, I thought it was a bit of a no-brainer. We have bought in another keeper for the future. It's Alex Cuoto Horio Pisano. We've got him for just over £2 million. Our final signing was Ilya Zabarnyi, coming in from Paris Saint-Germain. Cost us £40 million on the nose. The Ukrainian international, and is going to be another superb addition to our team. Our squad's looking awesome for the new season. Gaye, Zabarnyi and Sancho straight into the first team. Can we go one better this year? Can we secure our first league title in many, many years? We are favourites to smash the league, but for some reason got 0 players in the Media Dream 11. We are going to be involved in 4 competitions this year: the Serie A, the Coppa Italia, the Champions League and the Super Coppa. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we are ready to kick off our campaign with 3 points and finally bring home that Serie A title. We have had our Champions League games drawn, and this year it's been a lot kinder to us regarding who we are playing. We did kick off the season with a 4-0 win away at Udinese, a very comfortable victory. We then took on Pisa at home, where we managed to divert a close effort 1-0. But just after half time, a shambles at the back, and it was 1-1. Really, really poor result for us. It's only early in the season, of course, but Torino and Atalanta setting the pace. But now our attention turns to the Champions League. It's the group opener. We take on a strong Galatasaray at the Juventus Stadium. Once again, absolutely dreadful performance at home. And shortly after, we visited Germany and we come away with a point from the Boy Arena. We are seeing a lot of draws at the start of the season. We need to start turning them into wins sooner rather than later. In the league, we've been squeezing out results, but nonetheless, a 1-0 win on Derby Day will take it. Followed up with a win away at Cremonese. Then we took on Roma at home. Hopefully, we can get a little bit of revenge from last season and we get ourselves into an early lead. We then doubled our advantage thanks to a goal from Cambiasso. Roma did manage to get a goal back, 2-1. We did manage to hang on with a rearguard masterclass. Unbeaten, and we are hot on the tails of Atalanta. When it comes to the Champions League though, after 2 matches, not so good. We really, really need to win our next game. The next game was Feyenoord, and I feared the worst when we went 1-0 down. But thankfully for us, we had a hero in the box, and it was a great goal. With only a minute to go, I thought, Christ, another 1-1 draw. But Jesus, Cambiasso saved us. With our first win now in the Champions League, we find ourselves jumping up to 10th position. Our Juventus team now is starting to find another gear. It's been a fantastic October. It's carried on into November, picking up a fantastic 3 points against AC Milan. And yet another 3 points in the Champions League, courtesy of a brace from Thuram. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. Conceição has been nobbled. Zegrova is out for the whole season. Adzic also out for a few weeks. But even with the injuries racking up, we're still firing on all cylinders in Serie A. Halfway through the Champions League group stage, still very much in contention for qualification. With games coming thick and fast, injuries also plaguing the team. We need to come together as a unit, kick on and carry on our fine form. We put Lecce to the sword in the Super Coppa, and that means another game against our arch rival AS Roma. With the game deadlocked at 0-0, we was almost in extra time. Unfortunately, Dybala killed us. Roma were much the better team on the day and thoroughly deserved their cup victory. With the Super Coppa now done and dusted, we can fix our attentions on the other 3 competitions still within our grasp. With 2 games left in the Champions League, we are down in 18th and we really need to pick up a win. Our last 2 matches are away at Lille, then finishing the group stage away at Fulham. The past few games we did manage to beat Fiorentina 1-0. We put Cremonese well and truly to the sword. Then a bad defeat away at Atalanta. A late goal by Scamacca sunk us on the day. We're approaching halfway in the season. We are a point behind Atalanta, but we do have 2 games in hand. We wasn't really using McKennie. He was moaning, he wanted to leave, so we've loaned him out to Sevilla for the remainder of the season. Van der Voort has gone out on a permanent transfer to Hellas Verona. As we just said, McKennie has left the football club. We was light in centre midfield, so we welcome in Joe Bellingham. He did cost us £24.5 million. Our trip to Lille now, we really do need to win this game. If not, it could be good night in the Champions League. And surprise, surprise, we drew again. So with us now sitting on 10 points, if we lose to Fulham, it could spell the end of this journey. We knew it was a must-win game for us. We went to Craven Cottage and we put on a performance and come away with what was a massively important 3 points in the Champions League. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through in the top 8, which means 2 extra games to play, but at least we're through. We had all these games in hand, but we just keep drawing game after game. A 1-1 draw away at Fiorentina. After all, we did get dominated by the look of it. We then took on Udinese, and yet again it was another pathetic draw. In the Champions League playoff round, it's not the easiest draw. We've got Porto, and this, well, could be the end of our campaign. So far, the month of February is not treating us well. We headed once again to Roma, lost 2-0. But the away trip to Porto in the first leg, thanks to a fantastic defensive performance, we come away still with a chance. February looks absolutely horrific for us. We really do need to beat Porto. A win today could re-galvanise us for the rest of the season. We needed a good start today, and boy did we get a slicer look at the start. We then doubled our advantage from the corner. Great header from Ribeiro. It's never ever plain sailing for us. Some nice work down the right by Porto. They managed to get the ball into the box, and it's an easy finish, 2-1, and it's game on again. That goal though didn't knock our confidence, and Openda put it away for 3-1. And to put the game beyond any doubt, there was Ribeiro again, second of the game, 4-1, and it was game over. It was a closely contested affair, but boy did we need that. Is our luck now starting to change? We have been drawn against Marseille in the last 16. That is definitely a winnable side for us. With loads of silverware still to play for, we do have Atalanta in the quarter-final of that Coppa Italia, followed shortly after by the double header of Marseille. Thankfully in the league we have started to pick up some points again, beating Lecce 3-2, beating Sassuolo by 3-1. We're still sat in second because Atalanta just seem to never ever lose. We did take them on in the quarter-final of the Coppa Italia, and they did strike themselves into an early lead. We did strike ourselves level thanks to Openda, and then late on in the game we struck ourselves into a 2-1 lead, and that's how it finished. For the second year running we do find ourselves in the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. Could we win this back to back? Before we even think about winning a Coppa Italia, it's time to take on Marseille, home and away. Can we get through to the next round? In the first leg, Marseille went 2-0 up and it looked like there was going to be no way back. But thanks to Cambiasso and an own goal from Ballardi, the game finished 2-2. We then travelled over to France for the second leg. It was end-to-end stuff, but thanks to an extra time penalty converted by Vlahovic, we progress. Unfortunately, we won't be progressing in the Coppa Italia thanks to Christian Pulisic. So to recap briefly, we lost the Super Coppa final to Roma, out of the Coppa Italia against AC Milan, but we are alive and kicking in the Champions League quarter-final. And for the Serie A, this really is once again going to go down to the absolute wire. We managed to get a draw at home against Tottenham. We head to White Hart Lane now, and it probably is now going to be a bridge too far. We needed to win the first leg. We didn't. Are we going to get absolutely punished and knocked out the Champions League once again in the latter stages? Let's keep these crossed. We can progress. With the game locked at 0-0, it was an absolute shocker at the back. It was a Lloyd Kelly own goal. And unfortunately, there was absolutely no way back for us. In my opinion, we was much the better team on the night. We just couldn't find the back of the net, and our Champions League campaign once again draws to a close. We are now out of all the other competitions. We can now firmly put all our eggs in one basket. Let's kick on. Let's win the Serie A league title. We've played some major games in the league, and the first point of call is we beat Atalanta 4-2 at home. Massively important. The scores were deadlocked at 1-1 away at AC Milan, but late on, a killer goal and we lost the game 2-1. Our form towards the end of the season has been scattered, but with the game in hand, we are 2 points behind Atalanta. The ball is well and truly in our court. A win at home against Como will put us top of the tree. This was a must-win game for us, and we got off to a perfect start. The goals kept on flowing, Vlahovic with a tap-in. Adzic then adding a cheeky third. Then from a lovely free kick, Mektat number 4. It was an easy 4-0 victory, and that indeed does put us top of the table with 3 games to go. We have Lazio, Cagliari and Bari to finish our season. It really could be our time. Atalanta travel to Fiorentina at home against Lecce and then finish their season off with a trip to Inter Milan. Atalanta have much the trickier games. We've got the easier fixtures. If we can just win, do our job, we will be crowned champions. We travelled to Lazio and we couldn't hang on. Isaacson with a late goal to ruin our day. But with Fiorentina and Atalanta sharing the spoils, we still hold top spot by a point and we have a 1 better goal difference. The game between Atalanta and Lecce was in deadlock until unfortunately Sulemana gave them the victory. We needed to respond. Our job was made a tad easier when their player two-footed tackled Cambiasso. We knew Atlanta had won, we needed to score, and who is there? Cometh the man, cometh the hour, cometh Luis Openda. With us both coming away with victory, it comes down to the final game of the season. Is it going to be Juventus? Is it going to be Atalanta? Is this going to be our moment? We're at home, we're playing bottom of the table Bari. Surely this should be a foregone conclusion. And I say foregone conclusion for the sheer fact that Atalanta surely can't win away at Inter Milan and us lose at home to bottom of the table and already relegated Bari. The lads this year have been nothing short of absolutely incredible. Conceição having the season of his life. Luis Openda getting 31 goals so far. And a huge shout out to Mark Gay, who's been an absolute revelation at centre half the entire season, being an absolute colossal in defence. Look at the smile on his face. He is absolutely living the dream here at Juventus. In the Atalanta game, it was them that struck first somehow at the San Siro. It then got even better in the second half. Scamacca, 2-0. What the hell are we watching? Surely there was a way back for Inter Milan. Well, we thought that as well, and Samardzic smashed it in 3-0 to Atalanta. Inter Milan did manage to get a couple of goals back, but it was too little, too late. The teams are lined up, they are ready to go. We know what we needed to do, and there was Conceição, as you would expect. With the game at 1-0, anything could have happened, but thanks to a fantastic corner from Conceição and a fantastic header from Gatti, we won 2-0 and the league title was ours. It really has been such a long time coming, and finally, and we say finally, Juventus once again get their hands back on the Serie A title. Everybody, let's celebrate, let's lift that trophy. Juve fans, the board, the players, everyone involved with the club is living the dream. So after 2 seasons, we have managed to achieve our main objective, and that was to go on and win the Serie A league title. Drink it in, Juve, champions of Italy once again. So there you have it, guys. It's only took us 2 seasons to get Juve back to the top of the Serie A and back amongst the silverware. It really is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. If there's any rebuilds you guys do want to see, let me know down below in the comments. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, and of course, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. But until next time, guys, you take care of yourselves.